Every loss you've ever suffered started the moment you believed the fight was over. You thought you had won. You thought they had learned their lesson. You walked away with your chest puffed out, feeling vindicated, feeling superior. And while you were busy celebrating your brilliant victory, they were quietly sharpening the blade that would eventually cut your throat. You do this over and over again. You fight to win the moment, but you lose the war. You demand immediate satisfaction, you need the instant dopamine hit of being right, and in doing so, you hand your opponent the exact blueprint of your weaknesses. Most people fight to win the moment. Strategic people fight to own the outcome. And there is a massive, devastating difference between the two. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that the most dangerous position in any conflict is the one where you believe you are safe. Because the moment you feel safe, you drop your guard. You stop watching. You stop calculating. You become predictable. And predictability is a death sentence in the game of power. The ruthless art Machiavelli perfected was not about brute force. It was about the invisible manipulation of perception. It was about letting your enemies think they had you cornered, letting them think they had broken you, so they would step right into the trap you set for them. Today, I am going to show you exactly how this works. Here are 7 dark principles of strategic surrender, the art of letting them think they won, so you can take absolutely everything. Number 1. The victory trap. Why winning is the most dangerous position you can be in. You have been conditioned your entire life to seek victory. You want the apology. You want the last word. You want the public validation that you were right and they were wrong. But look at what that immediate victory actually costs you. When you force a visible win, you do 2 catastrophic things. First, you alert everyone around you that you are a threat. You make yourself a target. Second, and far worse, you trigger a psychological response in your opponent. When you defeat someone publicly, you wound their ego. And a wounded ego does not surrender. A wounded ego goes underground. It plots. It waits. It remembers. You think the fight is over because they stopped arguing. But they didn't stop. They just changed tactics. They moved from open warfare to guerrilla warfare. The cost to you here is immense. You lose your peace of mind. You spend your days looking over your shoulder, wondering when the next attack is coming, never quite able to relax. You traded a temporary feeling of superiority for a permanent state of quiet anxiety. Strategic people do not need the instant win. They understand that a visible victory is often a tactical defeat. If you crush someone openly, you teach them how to survive you. You teach them to be stealthy. But if you let them think they have won, they become careless. They let their guard down. They reveal their true intentions, their resources, and their allies. The smartest move is often to absorb the hit. Let them feel the rush of victory. Let them celebrate. Because while they are celebrating, you are observing. You are learning their patterns. You are mapping their blind spots. You are quietly positioning yourself for the real strike. Most people demand to be seen as the winner right now. Strategic people are perfectly comfortable being perceived as the loser, as long as that perception gives them the tactical advantage later. Perception is reality. If they perceive you as defeated, they will treat you as defeated. And that is exactly where you want them. Number 2. The art of false surrender. How to stage a retreat that is actually an ambush. This is where most people fail because their ego cannot handle it. Your ego screams at you to fight back. It tells you that yielding is weakness. It tells you that if you back down, you are less of a person. But true power is the ability to control your ego. To use it as a tool rather than being used by it. The art of false surrender is the art of appearing to yield and submit while actually maintaining complete control. It is the passive-aggressive strategy elevated to a science. When you are in a conflict, and the other person is pushing hard, trying to dominate you, the natural impulse is to push back. But when you push back, you give them something to push against. You create friction. You allow them to gauge your strength. Instead, do the opposite. Yield. Step back. Lower your head. Agree with them. Tell them they are right. Let them feel the rush of power that comes from making you submit. What happens to them in that moment? Their chest swells. Their brain floods with dopamine. They stop thinking critically. They stop analyzing the situation because they believe the situation is already resolved. They have won, so the fight is over. That is the exact moment you have them. By appearing to submit, you have disarmed them. You have lowered their guard to zero. You have made them overconfident. And an overconfident opponent is a blind opponent. They will start speaking freely. They will reveal information they never would have revealed if they thought you were still a threat. They will turn their back on you. The cost of fighting back directly is that you exhaust yourself. You spend your energy, your resources, and your emotional bandwidth fighting a battle that doesn't matter. The reward of false surrender is that you conserve all of that energy. You let them spend theirs, while you sit quietly, fully rested, fully aware, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. You must become comfortable with appearing weak. You must train yourself to feel nothing when they call you a coward or a pushover. Let them call you whatever they want. Their insults are just proof that the disguise is working. While they are laughing at you, you are studying the architecture of their destruction. Number 3. The overextension trigger. Appearing defeated to make them cross the line of no return. This is the dark heart of the strategy. You do not just let them win. You let them win so completely that they overextend themselves beyond recovery. Think of it like a physical fight. If you want someone to fall, you do not push them away. You pull them toward you. You encourage them to commit all their weight, all their force, in your direction. Then, at the last second, you step aside, and they go crashing into the wall. In psychological warfare, this means feeding their belief that they have utterly destroyed you. You do not just surrender. You act broken. You act demoralized. You act as if you have completely given up. Why? Because victory makes people greedy. When someone feels they have total power over you, they cannot help but push for more. They want to humiliate you further. They want to take things from you that they don't even need, just to prove how powerful they are. This is their fatal flaw. You let them take the extra mile. You let them make unreasonable demands. You let them insult you in front of others. You let them alienate your mutual contacts. You let them overplay their hand. Because every step they take beyond the bounds of reasonability is a step they cannot take back. They are building a trap for themselves, and you are just standing there, holding the door open for them. The cost of fighting for every inch of ground is that you become exhausted, bitter, and entrenched in a stalemate. But the reward of the overextension trigger is total, undeniable justification for your eventual counterattack. When you finally move, no one will blame you. Everyone will see them as the aggressor who went too far. You will have the moral high ground, the tactical high ground, and the element of surprise. You let them build their own gallows. You just hand them the rope. Most people try to stop their opponents from making mistakes. Strategic people encourage their opponents to make mistakes. You want them to feel invincible. Invincible people make the most catastrophic errors. Number 4. The strategy of emptiness. Deny them a target until they exhaust themselves. Sometimes, you do not even need to stage a surrender. Sometimes, the most powerful move is simply to vanish. To become empty. To provide absolutely no resistance, no reaction, and no target for their aggression. When someone is furious with you, when they are attacking you, they are expecting a certain response. They want you to argue. They want you to cry. They want you to defend yourself. They need your energy to sustain their own attack. If you give them that energy, you are feeding the fire. But if you give them nothing, the fire consumes itself. This is incredibly difficult for most people. Your instinct is to defend your name. Your instinct is to correct the lies. Your instinct is to prove that you are right. But every time you defend yourself, you validate their attack. You are telling them that their opinion matters enough for you to fight it. The strategy of emptiness means removing yourself entirely from the equation. You do not argue. You do not explain. You do not defend. You simply withdraw. You become impossible to attack because there is nothing there to attack. When the enemy advances, you disappear. When they retreat, you reappear. This strategy frustrates powerful opponents to no end. They cannot bring their superior force to bear against an enemy they cannot locate. They swing at the air until they are completely exhausted. The cost of constantly defending yourself is that you live in a state of perpetual reactivity. You are always responding to their moves. You are always playing their game. You lose your peace. You lose your focus. You lose your ability to think strategically because you are trapped in the mud of their drama. But the reward of emptiness is total freedom. By refusing to engage, you force them to fight their own imagination. They start to wonder why you aren't responding. They get paranoid. They start making mistakes, attacking shadows, wasting their resources on a ghost. You become a phantom. And a phantom cannot be killed. Number 5. The counterattack reversal. Using their aggressive momentum to destroy them. Let us talk about what happens when the trap is finally sprung. You have let them think they won. You have let them overextend. You have let them become careless. Now it is your turn. But you do not attack them directly. A direct attack is expected. A direct attack gives them time to defend. Instead, you use the counterattack strategy. You use their own aggressive momentum against them. Think of it like a judo throw. In judo, you do not try to overpower a larger opponent. You use their weight and their momentum against them. You pull them in the direction they are already moving, and then you add your force at the exact right angle to send them flying. In psychological conflict, this means waiting until they have fully committed to their attack. Let them put all their chips on the table. Let them burn their bridges. Let them alienate their allies. And then, when they are completely exposed, when they have no reserves left, you strike. But you strike in an unexpected direction. You do not confront their main argument. You do not try to prove them wrong on their terms. You attack the foundation they forgot to defend. You expose the weakness they created when they overextended. The cost of fighting head-on is that it takes twice the energy and you still might lose. You are trading blows, taking damage, hoping you can outlast them. But the reward of the counterattack is devastating efficiency. You use the energy they already spent to defeat them. They did all the hard work of attacking. You just redirect it. They pushed so hard to destroy you, and you simply stepped aside and let them run off the cliff. The most dangerous move in any conflict is letting them believe the fight is finished before you have even begun. When they think it is over, they stop protecting their flanks. They stop watching their supply lines. They stop thinking. And that is when you turn the tables. Number 6. The grand strategy: patience. Losing the battle on purpose to win the war. You need to understand something fundamental about power. The battle in front of you is rarely the actual war. The argument you are having today is not the real conflict. The real conflict is the long-term struggle for position, influence, and control. Grand strategy is the ability to see the bigger picture beyond individual skirmishes. Most people are tactical thinkers. They can only see the fight that is right in front of their face. They want to win that fight. They need to win that fight. And because they are so focused on the immediate skirmish, they lose sight of the ultimate objective. Grand strategic thinking requires enormous patience. It requires the willingness to lose battles. It requires the ability to absorb setbacks, to take the hit, to look foolish, to be underestimated, all in service of the decisive moment that may take months or years to arrive. The cost of needing to win every single battle is that you exhaust your forces. You spread yourself too thin. You make too many enemies. You win the argument but lose the relationship. You win the negotiation but lose the client. You win the moment but lose the future. Strategic people do not care about winning battles. They only care about winning the war. If losing this specific battle positions you better for the overall war, then you lose it. Deliberately. Calmly. Without emotion. You let them have the territory so you can capture the high ground. You let them have the trophy so you can take the prize. This is the essence of Stoic composure. Marcus Aurelius would understand this perfectly. You do not let the events disturb your mind. You observe the battle, you accept the loss, and you keep your eyes on the horizon. Most people cannot handle the discomfort of a perceived loss. Their ego demands immediate satisfaction. That impatience is the chains that keep them weak. Your patience is the key that unlocks the door to absolute power. Number 7. The silent annihilation. Encircling them completely while they celebrate their fake victory. This is the final move. The ultimate conclusion of letting them think they won. You do not just want to defeat them. You want to eliminate their ability to ever threaten you again. You want total victory. The annihilation strategy is not about pushing an enemy back. Pushing them back means they can regroup. They can recover. They can come back for revenge. The annihilation strategy is about encirclement. It is about cutting off all routes of retreat and supply. It is about cornering them so completely that they have no space to recover. How do you do this while they think they are winning? You do it quietly. While they are busy celebrating their victory over you, you are systematically cutting off their options. You are building relationships with their allies. You are securing the resources they depend on. You are positioning yourself in every area of their life they are not paying attention to. Because they think you are defeated, they are not watching you do this. They are focused on the trophy they just won. They are gloating. They are resting. Meanwhile, you are quietly surrounding them. By the time they realize what is happening, it is too late. They turn around to attack you again, and they find that they have no allies left. They have no resources. They have no escape route. You have enveloped them completely. The cost of fighting them openly, of trying to defeat them in a frontal assault, is that they will see you coming. They will have time to reinforce their defenses. The reward of silent annihilation is that you never have to fight them at all. You simply close the circle, and the fight is over before they even knew it had started. You take everything. Their power. Their influence. Their options. You leave them with nothing, and they never even saw your hand move. This is the dark psychology of the master strategist. You do not seek glory. You do not seek validation. You seek only results. You seek only total control of the outcome. Let them have the applause. Let them have the momentary high of feeling superior. Applause is temporary. Mental space is power. Being liked is not being respected. And being perceived as the winner is not the same as actually being the winner. You have been giving away your power your whole life by demanding to be seen as the winner in every petty little conflict. You fought for the last word. You fought for the validation. And what did it get you? A lifetime of looking over your shoulder. A constant state of defending yourself against people who never forgot the humiliation you forced upon them. You must break this pattern right now. You must train yourself to love the feeling of being underestimated. You must embrace the silence of the strategic retreat. You must become dangerously clever. When they push you, do not push back. Pull them in. When they attack you, do not defend. Disappear. When they think they have won, smile, lower your head, and let them celebrate. While they celebrate, you calculate. While they rest, you work. While they gloat, you encircle. You do not need them to know you are the winner. You only need to own the outcome. You must adopt the stoic composure of a mind that cannot be rattled by a temporary setback. You must adopt the Machiavellian ruthlessness of a mind that sees every interaction as a chess piece moving toward checkmate. The ruthless art Machiavelli perfected, now it is yours. You know the cost of playing it safe. You know the cost of fighting for every little win. You know what it takes from you. Your peace. Your power. Your future. Stop playing the game on their terms. Stop fighting for the moment. Start fighting for the outcome. Let them think they won. Let them think the fight is over. And then, when they are completely exposed, when they have overextended beyond recovery, when they have built their own trap and stepped right into it, you take everything. Right now, not tomorrow. Right now, you make the decision. You stop reacting. You stop explaining. You start playing smart. Look at the conflicts in your life right now. The ones draining your energy. The ones keeping you up at night. Let them go. Surrender the battle. Withdraw into the emptiness. Watch what happens when you stop feeding their fire. Watch how quickly they burn themselves out. Watch how careless they become when they think you are no longer a threat. And as you watch, start planning. Start positioning. Start encircling. You are not weak. You are not a victim. You are a strategist. You are playing a game they do not even know exists. If you are ready to claim this power, if you are ready to become the silent force that controls the outcome, then prove it. Drop a comment right now and say, I am untouchable. Say it, mean it, and start living it. Let them think they won. Then take everything.